Growing up, I've always been a city boy. The thought of the farm life just wasn't for me. Fresh air, countryside, sunshine. I never got into these things. They don't seem to be very interesting to me. But what if I've made a mistake? What if the farming life is what I actually am destined to do? What if I'm supposed to be a farmer? How would I ever know? Is there any way to find out if you enjoy the things that farming brings about without actually jumping into the world of farming? Well, Farming Simulator recently came out on the Nintendo Switch, and this could really be an eye-opener for me. Is this really my calling? Should I just abandon YouTube and just be a farmer? Do I belong on the fields and plantations, harvesting crops? Let's find out with Farming Simulator for the Nintendo Switch. The Farming Simulator franchise has sold over 8 million copies across multiple platforms, and that's pretty interesting, honestly, because it doesn't seem like a game that people would really resonate to. But for some reason, people seem to enjoy Farming Simulator. And when it was announced for the Nintendo Switch, I honestly paid it no mind, really, because I'm not a farmer. I don't really have an interest in farming things. But then I thought about it, and I do like to micromanage stuff, and stuff like SimCity is super fun. So if Farming Simulator could sort of bring that about, maybe I would have a good time with it. So I got a review copy of Farming Simulator sent over for the Nintendo Switch, and I've been checking it out. So am I supposed to be a farmer? Is this like my calling? I guess we're going to find out in this review of the game. So the way Farming Simulator starts out is you basically get a lump sum of money and you're given a farm, and you have to just basically keep up with this farm. Now, I honestly know little to nothing about farming. I know there's like animals and crops, and you have to like buy stuff and sell stuff and harvest stuff, but this game can be pretty intense at first, and there are different levels to it. You could play on an easier mode, but I figured I'd try it out on normal mode because I'm a normal person, and mistakes were made. Mistakes were made! You see, every piece of equipment that you use in the game has its own unique feel to it. It has its own unique characteristics. You are actually doing farming tasks. You are plowing fields and collecting grains and having to sell these grains and stuff like that. And honestly, I had a little bit of trouble first kind of wrapping my head around everything. You can automate it and hire workers, which is super cool because basically they just do it all for you. But there are some tasks that you have to do regardless. And it could be a bit overwhelming at times because I really don't understand how these things work, but I sort of just made up my own game within this game because it is sort of an open world. You have this big farm, you have a big area that you're in, and you could go into town and look at different things, sell different things, drop off your crops and whatnot. So I just sort of drove around in a pickup truck and had a lot of fun, honestly. I was just sort of like making up my own story. Like I probably had a few too many drinks, and I was just driving all over my farm, watching my workers go to work, harvesting these crops and doing all the work for me because I'm lazy. I'm a lazy farm owner, but that doesn't mean I can't be successful. So after a tutorial where it teaches you how to use all of the different things, all the different machines in the game, you're pretty much just thrust into the game, and you have to look at things that are going on in like the economy. Like, so for instance, certain things will cost more during certain times of the year, and it really brings about that micromanaging aspect that I actually like. That's actually a really fun thing for me. I like, figuring out what I need to invest my time into, what crops are doing really good, what sort of seeds I need to be planting. It's like a Harvest Moon, but like serious. And that's kind of cool, honestly. I know nothing about farming, like I've said a million times, but controlling these big vehicles and, driving like an idiot and making mistakes and, running my truck into different things and not being able to put the little attachment on the front because I'm an idiot. Like, it was fun figuring out everything. And I really started to understand the game a bit more, and I realized I'm not a farmer. I will never be a farmer, and I don't necessarily like farming stuff. But that doesn't mean I don't like this game, because there's a lot of fun to be had in it. Just creating your own little farm, creating your own little paradise, and trying to make money, trying to stay afloat. It's really interesting, honestly. There's a lot of different vehicles you commander, and like I said, you can hire different workers to sort of automate these tasks for you so you can focus on other things. You have to look at livestock. There's, sheep and goats and cows and chickens on your farm, and you have to keep them in check and feed them and stuff. It's very intensive, but it doesn't ever feel like you're just, there's too much going on, because you can automate some of these tasks and hire workers. The main thing you have to focus on is keeping your money up. The more money you got, the more you can do, the better equipment you can get. You can rent different trucks, you can buy different trucks and different vehicles and stuff to make these tasks a little bit easier, make these tasks a little bit more manageable. Now, on the graphics side of things, the game looks pretty clean. It's definitely not a game that's pushing the Switch's hardware. It's not, it probably could pass for a PS3 game, but I don't necessarily think that's a terrible thing in this game. All of the vehicles look really nice, but some of the environments are just a bit drab and whatnot, but that's not a huge deal. I don't think this is supposed to be a graphical prowess game. And then in the audio department, the trucks sound good, and there's lots of country music if you're into that sort of thing. Me personally, country music just drives me crazy. But hey, if you like country music, this is the game for you, because there's a lot of country music in it. All the trucks have their own unique sounds. You can even blow a horn and scare people while you're driving around town in this monstrous thing that looks like it's gonna run over people and take over lives and stuff. But honestly, the presentation is solid enough. It's a bit bare bones, but it gets the job done. Now, on the handheld side of things, because with all Switch reviews, I like to be able to play the game in handheld mode. Honestly, handheld mode, I think, is where this game excels, because you could do a lot with it. There are touchscreen controls, and the fact that you could just bring this anywhere with you, you're not just tethered to your TV, because honestly, I think if you just sat at your TV and played this game for like 2 or 3 hours, you would probably get a little bit bored. But being able to play on the go, pick it up, put a couple minutes in, put it back down, quick save and whatnot, it does get the job done. But the weird thing is, I did play the game for like 2 to 3 hours in docked mode, and I didn't even realize it. Time just kept going and going, and I just kept figuring out more things and cultivating more crops and figuring out how to be a better farmer, because I don't know, there was some sort of sense of satisfaction that this game brought about. And the more I played it, the more I wanted to create my farm to its, perfectness, to make it as good as possible, to drive my truck around like a drunken redneck and just run into trees and act like an idiot. And honestly, I had way more fun with Farming Simulator than I thought I would. And I kind of wanted to show it in this review, because if you take the game very seriously, if you're a serious person who likes serious farming, you can find a lot of enjoyment out of it. If you're an idiot like me who knows nothing about farming, who knows nothing about the farming world, farming culture, and you just want to have some fun messing around and doing some basic micromanaging, you're still going to have a good time. It's not a game I would recommend to everyone. Honestly, if you watch the gameplay and you say, hey, this doesn't look like it's for me, it's probably not for you. But if you have any sort of interest in this series, if you've ever played another farming simulator game on another platform, it's definitely not bad. It seems like a very competent version of the franchise. There's a lot to do, there's a lot to see, there's a lot of micromanaging, and honestly, I had fun. And I think at the end of the day, that's all that really matters with a game, is if you have fun. And Farming Simulator, for some strange reason, was a fun thing for me. So let me know in the comment section down below if you've ever played a Farming Simulator game, because I'm very interested. I'm very interested to see what type of people play these games. Who is this target audience? Who are these 8 million people that are buying the game? Because honestly, it surprised me. It's definitely not a game that I would ever pick up when I was in a store or something, but if I was just, on a whim, maybe, because it's not that bad. It's actually pretty fun. You're gonna have a decent time with it. If you enjoy games like SimCity and games where you're micromanaging things, Farming Simulator, not a bad pickup. Definitely not for everyone though. So like I said, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of Farming Simulator. If you've ever played a Farming Simulator, if you are a farmer in real life and you could get me a job making like $25 an hour and I could just sit around and smoke cigarettes and drink beer, because I'm a decent farmer. I'm a decent farmer. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and leave me your thoughts in the comment section down below. I will catch you guys next time. I've got to go hoe some more fields or something. Later.
RGT NC.